Hello fellow Bears and happy Friday. I'm Alani Cassiano. Thanks for joining us today here at Bear News. To start things off, let's take it over to Sam for the weather.
Thanks, Alani. Well, we survived this very chilly week, but can we survive this very cold weekend that will bring in some snow? Saturday, we're looking at this frontal system that's moving across the central United States. But as we look into Sunday, that frontal system will move more south, bringing in some heavy rain and thunderstorms possible for the southeastern United States. But for Colorado, we're going to be looking at that the frontal system bringing in that snow, as snow all along the northeastern part of Colorado. But Sunday is where the snow will start to get heavier, and we expect to see more snow. As Sunday, the snow is all along the plains of Colorado, and it'll start to move in over the Rockies too on Sunday into Monday. But how much snow will we be getting? Well, we're expecting about an inch of snow all along the plains of Colorado. Denver is looking about a little over an inch. I'd say the Greeley area is expected about an inch of snow. But Colorado at this very moment seems pretty warmer than usual today. Like right now, Denver is in the 40s, and the Greeley area, northern and Fort Collins area, we're looking at the 35s and 34. But looking at the rest of this weekend and this upcoming week, Greeley is looking at a high of 38 today. Saturday is 28, and once that snow starts to come in, it will be 13 degrees, and even Monday and Tuesday will have very chilly overnight lows. But as we move into the rest of the week, we expect it to warm back up. Even in this next weekend, we can start to see some 40s. That's weather. We'll head back to Alani.
This week, reporter Emily Gutierrez returned to the University Center to shed the spotlight on Crisol Latin Kitchen as a part of our series on the new dining options on campus.
Here on campus, I'm the retail operations manager, and I also oversee concessions and catering. So Crisol essentially is a mixture of anything South and Central American cuisines. So there isn't anything defined on any one cuisine of any one country. It's all of Latin food that's in this hemisphere.
Crisol is Spanish for melting pot, which is exactly what Crisol Latin Kitchen is aiming for. Crisol seeks to bring foods from all across Latin America to the UNC community.
Got a few weeks under our belt now, so I think starting next week we're going to be working on some limited time offer options. We can do, as long as we stay within the theme of Latin American food, we can pretty much do whatever we want to. So I will be gathering recipes and ideas from anybody on campus that wants to, contribute their ideas, recipes, family recipes from whatever country that their family might be from.
It opened at the beginning of the semester alongside Bowlful and Empire State Pizza. The current menu includes items like tacos, Brazilian beef, quesadillas, tortas, and pupusas. To satisfy your sweet tooth, Crisol offers churros and more.
I like the tacos, any one of the tacos, but I've been eating tacos my whole life. But the pupusas is something new to me. My family didn't eat them. They're not from Mexico, you know what I mean? And that's where most of my family's food comes from, like that I'm familiar with. So I think those are awesome. Contribute ideas. This is the concept that we're running, but this is for the student body, the faculty and staff to have input on what we would possibly be offering on the menu.
If you're interested in sending a meal suggestion, send them to ryan.virgil@unco.edu.
Thanks, Emily. Be sure to stay tuned to Bear News as we continue our coverage of the new dining options on campus. When people think of the performing and visual arts, many things may come to mind. Dancing, painting, singing, and drawing, to name a few. But business, entrepreneurship, those aren't usually part of the thought process. UNC's new Center for Arts and Entrepreneurship is attempting to change that. Bear News reporter Shelly Schwartz attended the center's launch party last Friday to tell us more about it.
On January 20th, the Center for Arts Entrepreneurship held its launch event in UNC's Campus Commons. Attendees grabbed snacks from the UNC catering table and listened to presentations about the center from a variety of speakers. Co-directors of the Center for Arts Entrepreneurship, Dr. Sarah Off and Dr. Rand Harmon, spoke about student opportunities to develop entrepreneurial skills. Off says that we're constantly surrounded by art, so artists must learn how to effectively bring theirs into the world.
the arts exist in any context, right? They're everywhere all the time, even in places where you don't realize it. I mean, right now I'm standing next to furniture that was designed essentially by an artist, right? We don't think about it that way, but the arts are around us constantly. Arts entrepreneurship focuses on the ability to take your product, your art, the thing that you create, and bring it out to the world.
The co-directors highlighted the growing number of internships through the center, which has included the Greeley Philharmonic Orchestra, the National Repertory Theater, and Central City Opera. Aside from internships, students also have the opportunity to gain a certificate in arts entrepreneurship. Off says that the certificate helps students gain practical skills while also teaching them how to create opportunities for themselves, think creatively, and problem solve. The center's next event will be their annual Start Salon, which showcases student talent. This year, the salon will feature interdisciplinary work between students from the entirety of the Performing and Visual Arts School. For more information, you can visit the Center for Arts Entrepreneurship website at the link below. Shelley Schwartz, Bear News.
Thanks, Shelley. Looking to take a break from schoolwork? The Office of Health Promotion has several events planned this semester designed to help students de-stress. Here's a look at one of them. The Office of Health Promotion hosted a Canvas and Cupcakes mental health happy hour event on Wednesday, January 25th at 4 p.m. in the UC Columbine Suite. Students RSVP'd to secure their canvas and were invited to relax and paint free of charge. Students were taught how to paint a scene of the Aurora Borealis in a forest through an hour-long guided painting session. They could also enjoy cupcakes and tea while they painted. During the event, students were offered information about mental health resources available to them.
My name is Aurora Russo. I'm the graduate assistant for the Office of Health Promotion here at UNC. Today we're doing an event with the Work of Art Greeley, and they're teaching students how to paint the Aurora Borealis. It's an opportunity for them to get some stress relief, and then we're also providing information about mental health resources on campus and in the community. We are providing information about the Counseling Center and as well as North Range Behavioral Health, and just providing like what kind of insurance options or payment options. A lot of people don't know that the Counseling Center is free and that you get 10 free sessions. So we just want to make sure people are aware that that resource is there. We know from like surveys we've done across campus that a lot of our students are stressed out. About 45% tend to feel like their stress is inhibiting like their academic performance or their life in general. So we want areas where students can get stress relief and resources to help them improve that aspect.
This is just one of many events scheduled this semester which are designed to help UNC students de-stress.
So we are going to be doing the emotional support plans, which we did last semester, and it was a big hit. We'll also be doing some around food, body image, and mental health as well in the month of February, and then we typically have Stress Less Fest at the end of the semester.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. Very therapeutic.
I haven't really had a lot of experience with art, so it was a really cool first step into it, I guess.
It's very relaxing, and I'm really glad I got to do it.
The Office of Health Promotion hopes events like these help promote mental wellness among UNC's student population. This has been Alani Cassiano with Bear News. The Weld County Humane Society has temporarily suspended dog adoptions. They are not taking any dog surrenders or strays after a dog tested positive for a severe respiratory illness called Strep Zoo. According to the Humane Society's website, all dogs at the shelter are currently quarantined and receiving a long-lasting injectable antibiotic. So far, no other dogs have tested positive for the illness. Strep Zoo is an aggressive and potentially fatal respiratory pathogen. It is contagious and can affect dogs in a shelter setting. The illness can progress very quickly. Dogs who may have Strep Zoo should be quarantined for 7 days. The shelter is informing those whose dogs were recently housed at the Humane Society that there is some risk their pet could have been exposed via droplets. It is unlikely but possible for humans to contract the illness. But if someone is exposed and develops signs of respiratory problems, they should contact their medical care professionals. The shelter is working with residents and other animal control partners to divert stray dog intakes to other animal shelters at this time. A DU basketball player and brother of Denver Nuggets forward Michael Porter Jr., Coben Porter, was taken into police custody early Sunday morning after a fatal car accident. Porter reportedly ran a red light at the intersection of University Boulevard and Butchell Boulevard northeast of the DU campus, going 50 miles per hour and hit the victim's vehicle. The Denver police reported that during his arrest, he was slurring his speech and had a strong odor of alcohol on his breath. The victim, 42-year-old Katarina Rothman, died at the scene. He was booked into the Denver jail on suspicion of vehicular homicide, but posted bond and was released Sunday afternoon. This comes after a report from the Colorado Department of Transportation where it was reported that over 1/3 of fatal car accidents in Colorado were caused by impaired driving. Just in the first weeks of 2023, the fatal car accident rate is substantially higher than the early months of previous years. In international news, a copy of the U.S. TSA's no-fly list was leaked late last week. The list was from 2019 and was found on an unsecure server run by the U.S. airline Commute Air. Commute Air has a few major hubs across the U.S., including one in Denver. The Swiss hacker goes by the moniker Maya Arson Crime. On the 19th, Crime released a post on her blog titled How to Completely Own an Airline in 3 Easy Steps and grabbed the TSA no-fly list along the way, in which she detailed the insecurities on the server. She has been selectively releasing the list to, quote, parties with legitimate interest, end quote. According to CNN, one notable name that was present on the list was Victor Bout, who was recently in a prisoner exchange for WNBA star Brittany Griner. Crime has been selectively appearing in interviews and podcasts for the last week. On Saturday, a Lunar New Year celebration in California turned to tragedy when a gunman entered a dance hall in Monterey Park and opened fire. 11 people were killed and several others were injured. The dance hall was particularly crowded because it was one of the first full Lunar New Year celebrations the city had held since the COVID-19 pandemic. The shooter was found dead Sunday from a self-inflicted gunshot wound and was identified as a 72-year-old man. The shooting has reignited concerns over gun control and racially motivated crimes. The gunman's motivations are still unknown. President Biden announced this morning that Chief of Staff Ron Klain is stepping down. No official reasoning was given, and Klain's final day in the position has not yet been announced. Klain will be replaced by Jeff Zients, a former Obama administrator, and he ran President Biden's COVID-19 response team. This comes at a challenging time for the Biden administration, as President Biden is being investigated for his alleged possession of classified documents. Next week, an event will be held at the White House to serve as an official transition for the Chief of Staff position. Klain joined Biden's staff while he was just a senator 36 years ago, the day he returned from his honeymoon. Maybe you have heard of ChatGPT and tried to get onto its servers. Maybe you have even been successful getting onto the server. Maybe you have tried a few times but gave up. Or maybe you haven't even heard of ChatGPT and are confused. But don't worry, you're in luck, because today we will be diving into exactly what ChatGPT is.
ChatGPT is a conversational artificial intelligence chatbot that can answer just about any question you throw at it. Some students have never heard of ChatGPT.
I haven't. No. I have not.
Some have their own opinions on ChatGPT.
Having actually sat down and looked at it, it cannot write the essays that it promises it can write. It gives you a very basic, just introduction paragraph. I also think it's really amusing that it says on their website, may contain information that is false for spirit events after this year. And it also doesn't use citations. I don't think it's going to replace actual essay writing.
I mean, it's cool for machine learning. Machine learning is really cool. Obviously, just any other bit of machine learning can be manipulated in negative ways, but I think overall it's really cool just because it has a lot of potential for the future of a lot of machine learning, just further development. So it's really cool as long as it's not manipulated in a negative way.
Mm-hmm. Never used it, but I've heard it's pretty cool. I heard that it can write papers. I'm not sure about that. I don't know that I would personally try that. So.
ChatGPT is an advanced AI chatbot trained by OpenAI, which interacts in a conversational way. The dialogue format makes it possible for ChatGPT to answer follow-up questions, admit its mistakes, challenge incorrect premises, and reject inappropriate requests. ChatGPT can quickly write and customize a resume and cover letter, create original jokes, and explain difficult topics. Solve and show you step-by-step how to solve math problems, get relationship advice, write essays on almost any topic, and can be a chat companion. Pretty much Google, but on steroids. It doesn't throw any links at you. It gives you information in a conversational and structured form like a human would.
Well, if you need a companion for this upcoming Valentine's Day, or you are just lonely, ChatGPT will be there for you. Brendon Urie announced that Panic at the Disco will be ending in an Instagram post on January 24th. We talked to UNC students about the band and the controversies surrounding them.
The band was formed in 2004 with Brendon Urie as the lead singer. He formed Panic at the Disco with his childhood friends Ryan Ross, Spencer Smith, and Brent Wilson. They have released 7 albums, with their first being A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. In 2015, Panic at the Disco became the solo project of Urie, with him releasing hits like High Hopes and This Is Gospel.
I think in social situations it had like a huge impact because there was like, you know, like Death of a Bachelor, or like I Write Songs on Tragedies, or, you know, different songs like that that everyone knew that were just like community builders almost, like at dances, or like, you know, you like put on like most popular songs and some of their songs would come in and it would just be like dancing with your best friends and like, I don't know, just like core memories, I guess.
Their song Death of a Bachelor has been nostalgic for one UNC student.
I had like a best friend in middle school who like passed away, and so I think we used to scream that song together like when we were younger, so I think I just resonate that song to like special memories, so I think that's why it's my fave.
While Panic at the Disco has had continuous popularity, it has also come with controversy. In 2006, former bassist Brent Wilson accused the rest of the band for not paying royalties for his part on A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. This was after he parted ways with the band, and he later threatened to take the situation to court.
Well, you'd think that each member of the band would have some right to, I don't know, this or that.
In 2020, it surfaced that Urie has a history of allegations pertaining to sexual harassment and assault of fans with the Twitter hashtag #BrendonUrieSpeakUp. There have also been videos that have surfaced of Urie making racist and anti-LGBTQ comments, leading to many former fans blocking Urie on Twitter. After nearly 2 decades, Urie is ending Panic at the Disco because he and his wife, Sarah Urie, are expecting their first child. He ended the post saying, "I am looking forward to seeing everyone in Europe and the UK for one last run together. I love you, I appreciate you, thank you for existing."
Panic at the Disco will be ending after their European tour, which starts on February 20th and ends March 10th. On January 12th, NBC News reported that Justin Roiland, co-creator of the hit animated television show Rick and Morty, was arrested in Orange County, California. Roiland faces 1 count of domestic battery with corporal injury and 1 count of false imprisonment by menace, violence, fraud, or deceit. The charges are based on an incident that occurred in 2020, and Roiland has since pleaded not guilty and was released on a $50,000 bond. Since the charges were filed, Roiland's television shows and video game studio have recently announced how each will be moving forward. On January 16th, Roiland resigned from Squanch Games, his game studio that just last year released the surprise hit High on Life. The game is very similar in comedic tone to Rick and Morty and was a first-person shooter that had guns that talked and said funny lines. Roiland served as the voice actor for the primary gun character that the player meets first in the game. A couple days later, Adult Swim announced that they were cutting ties with Roiland, but Rick and Morty would still continue. Dan Horman, the former co-creator for the show, will now take over as the sole creator of Rick and Morty. Roiland served as the voice for both Rick and Morty, as well as several smaller characters, and Adult Swim also announced those roles would be recast. Warner Brothers Animation also ended its association with Roiland. The company and Roiland partnered to bring animated shows to Hulu, including Solar Opposites and Koala Man, which just recently premiered. The biggest event of the year for film buffs is upon us again, as the nominations for the 95th Academy Awards were announced Tuesday. Everything Everywhere All at Once leads with 11 nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Leading Actress, while All Quiet on the Western Front and The Banshees of Inisherin will closely follow with 9 nominations apiece. Though the winners won't be announced for another month and a half, this year's Oscars have already proven to be a triumph for some. Actors Ke Huy Quan and Brendan Fraser each secured a nomination in their categories, celebrating their momentous returns to Hollywood. Meanwhile, a shocking 16 of the 20 total Best Acting spots went to first-time nominees, including Colin Farrell, Ana de Armas, Michelle Yeoh, and Austin Butler. Winners will be announced March 12th at 6 p.m. and information on how to stream the ceremony can be found on the Oscars official website. Thanks for joining us today here on Bear News. We will see you next time.